Welcome back to day 5 of the 7 days of rest challenge. My name is Phoebe Hart. I'm a yoga teacher and a somatic practitioner, and I'm so grateful to have you here in this space to explore how you can integrate rest more into your day-to-day life. So today on day 5, we're going to be looking at a form of social rest. This is somewhat a somatic practice that I like to lean on when I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed after being in a lot of other people's company, and I want to come back into my own space and connect back into self and almost soothe the self, because I find for me, when I'm very outward with my energy towards a lot of people, when I think of drawing it back in, I often need soothing and down-regulating. So today's practice will be more of a down-regulating practice for the nervous system, and a beautiful way to connect to both body and self. So as always, find yourself a comfortable space in which you can practice in today. We will be seated for some of this, so if you find it more comfortable to be in a chair with a back support, I invite you to do that. But we will actually begin lying down if you're on your mat, or if you're on a seat, you're welcome to lean into the back of your chair. And we're going to start, if we're on our mat, on our backs. So just bringing your bolsters to the side. If you started on them like myself, perhaps you want to even slide that big bolster under your knees. And we're just rolling down and coming into our Shavasana position. And as soon as you land here with your back into the back of your chair or into the ground beneath you, just bringing that sigh in with your next few breaths, inviting and nudging your body into that relaxed and held state. Seeing if you can drop every muscle, every bone, every organ now into gravity that little bit more, allowing it to sink into either the ground beneath you or that space underneath your hips if you're seated. And we're going to begin today's practice with a couple minutes of silence. And I invite you within this couple minutes of silence to begin to call back any parts of self that are still scattered around your day or your night. Recalling back in any energy that's still outwards towards others and calling it back into self. We've got one more minute here together in silence. Within these last couple of breaths, we're going to, if you're lying on the floor, begin to rock our toes up and down towards the body, keeping our heels planted into the ground. So as you rock your toes forward and back, what you'll start to feel is that your whole skeletal structure will respond to this point of rocking. For those that are still seated in their chair, I invite you to begin a gentle rock side to side. So if you're on the ground, we're rocking the body almost up and down as we rock through those heels and those feet. And if we're seated, we're gently rocking side to side, and we'll just bring some intentional inhales and exhales out through the mouth. Beginning to slow that rocking down now. If you're lying on the ground, we're going to gently roll over into our left side. If you're seated, we'll be meeting you there in just a moment. And from your side, we're going to gently begin to push ourselves back up to a comfortable seat. Bringing all of the bolsters that you need to come into your comfortable seat here. Once you arrive, finding that gentle pull up through the crown of the head as you then allow the weight of the hips to drop down into the ground beneath you. Taking a breath as you arrive into your upward position. And then we're going to bring our right hand over to our left shoulder. And we're just going to begin to gently start to massage and squeeze down the outside edge of our left arm. Taking your time to gently massage out any tight spots. Coming all the way down to the hands. Perhaps massaging the palm of the hand and then squeezing each finger individually. And what's quite nice here is to close the eyes as we do this. So taking now the left hand over to the right shoulder, and we'll begin again massaging around that shoulder, squeezing down the outside edge of the arm, the inside edge of the arm, pausing in any tight areas and potentially using your thumb to get into any of those niggly spots. Coming all the way down to the palm of the right hand and each individual finger of the right hand. And then we'll take both hands to opposite shoulders, placing them to the tops of the shoulders. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, we're going to really slowly stroke our hands down the outside edges of our arms to the elbows. Inhale to bring the hands to the shoulders. Exhale, gently stroking down the outside edges of the arms, seeing if you can tune into the sensation of receiving touch, taking the hands all the way down to the wrists and the opposite hand this time. And once you reach fingertips, we'll do that again, inhaling as you bring the hands to the shoulders, exhaling, slowly tuning into that sensation of receiving soothing touch from self here. One last time down the outer edges of the arms, all the way to the fingertips. And then we're going to bring our fingertips now to the crown of our head, and we're just going to lightly tap with our fingertips around the crown of our head. Taking a breath in here, sigh and exhale out the mouth. And then really gently again with the palms of the hands wiping down around the back of the skull, down the back of the neck, and then all the way down into your heart space here, pausing with both hands over the heart space. Taking a breath into your heart as you sense into that sensation of touch, warmth, hands into the front body. And then we'll do that one more time. So tapping fingertips over the crown of your head, almost like raindrops landing onto the top of your head. And then taking an inhale here, and with your exhale, bringing the palms around the skull, down, back, behind the ears, down each side of the neck, and landing into the front of the body, this time one hand into the heart, one hand down into the belly. Taking a breath as you land here. And for these last couple of minutes, I'm going to give you permission now to follow that exploration of gentle touch into the body, noticing perhaps where I would like this loving, gentle hand placed into it. We're going to place our hand to wherever that is in the body, and we're just going to breathe here together. Seeing with each inhale if you can expand your breath down into where your hand is connected into. And then with each exhale, perhaps you want to readjust your hands along the outer shape of your body into another part of the body. And then again, pausing there, taking a breath, expanding breath into this new part of the body. Exhaling again, if you want to move the hands, keeping the hands connected to the body and bringing them into another area, bringing your attention there now with the breath again, filling up breath into the hands. And exhale, sigh, release out the mouth. Nice. Wherever you are, we're going to now bring, if you're on the ground, your feet into the ground and the knees into the chest. If you're on a seat, perhaps you can bring your feet up into your seat. And we're going to cradle the arms around the knees here. And if it feels good to do so, you can drop your head in too. And we're curling into this little ball shape, bringing all of ourself and our energy now back in towards our midline, hugging ourselves in nice and close. And any last parts of self that still feel perhaps in the outward energy towards others or towards your day or your space, calling those back in here as you cradle yourself in this space. And again, if it feels nice to do so for you, you can bring in that gentle rocking here again. Slowly breathing in and out through your nose as you slowly and gently rock and hold self. And we'll take Around 20 more seconds here together. Slowing that rocking down, bringing yourself back up to your comfortable seat. And just taking a moment with eyes closed to check back in, noticing any subtle shifts from the start of practice to now. Hopefully, you're feeling a little bit more centered. Perhaps you feel that sensation of slowness that has been invited in through gentle connection with touch and soothing rocking practices. Or perhaps there hasn't been much change at all, and that is also totally welcome and fine. Wherever you are, just noticing for yourself if there's anything further you need before bringing your eyes back to your space. Perhaps you need a yawn or a little wriggle. And we will round off today's rest practice there together. I thank you for joining me again today. I'm actually feeling really slow after guiding that practice. I don't know about you. Perhaps if it feels good to do so, you can let me know in the comments below how you found that. It's just a short one for you guys today, but hopefully quite potent in that down-regulating. And if you have any questions regarding any of the practices that we've moved through so far before we go into our final couple days, do feel free to reach out either in the comments or you can message me privately on Instagram. I love hearing from you all, so do keep in touch. And until tomorrow, I wish you a restful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Much love. Thank you for joining me again for another day of rest. I invite you to go and give me a follow on Instagram at The Rest Space or at With Phoebe Hart to stay up to date with all news. If you are interested in joining the online membership, The Rest Space, then you can go to www.phoebehart.com/The Rest Space, of where you can find all information about what's to come and get yourself signed up to join us in our monthly membership of rest.